Boom, we are live. Yes, I am sure I want to start streaming. I was going to say screaming there for a minute. It's been a tiring day. I got some sunburn. Check this out. I've started refereeing rugby or coaching. Going to rugby with the lad. I've been invited to become one of the coaches, which is awesome because I wanted to get back into that. It's been a lovely sunny day in Tokyo today. I'm just going to lower the seat so I don't bang the table. And yeah, I've kind of changed the background a little bit. I've kind of been doing a bit of a big tidy up. I've still got Hopi up there, as you can see, over there. But yeah, I've moved the turntables across a little bit. I've put the old 3D glasses back on. You can see Grace's book there in the background. Some other bits and pieces, just trying to make it a little bit more interesting and whatnot, just making sure that the sound and everything's working. I also have the old iPhone set up. I've always got it on the ground. Sorry, on the desk. I wonder if you can see it this way. Oh, I've put it on a stand, so it's actually standing upright in front of me, so I don't have to look down when I want to look at the screen anymore. So that's cool, and I have the topics set up for tonight. I don't have a lot of topics for tonight. It's been an insane week. One day I will be able to tell you stories about this week. I can't tell you everything at the moment, but some good, some bad, some crazy, but yes, that's life. But I'm good. I hope that you're good. It's good to see you all. It's good to see the usual familiar faces there. Tai Nakamura. Looks a little red. Now I wonder if looking a little red is because... Oh yes, the sunburn. Yes, sorry, that I was worried. The night mode thing, which I've turned off on this. It's me. Someone is hearing voices again. Facebook Live was awesome. Oh yeah. So I'm going to talk about that. That's one of the things I'm going to talk about. How Facebook now has this embedded live streaming. The quality is awesome. It's easy. It works off the iPhone and YouTube. Why can you still not do this? Even though they did announce that they are going to be bringing a a show along. Thank you for the like, Fogheart, and Elite Run. I will do my very poor performing Anglican best. I mean, I don't know if you can even call yourself Anglican when you haven't been to a church in geez, how long? About 28 years. I've been to a Jewish temple actually once in that time, probably more recently than I have an Anglican thing. So there you go. We'll do our best. If you believe in predetermination, you don't have to go because it's all decided anyway, right? I will do my best to make it entertaining for you. And there's some message stuff there. It's non-BD still. All talking about Tai Nakamura in the comments. His latest track on SoundCloud kicks ass. I just heard it tonight. I haven't had a chance to comment on it yet. But yeah, it's really, really good. So go and check that out. Of course, Shubas from Panama. That's right. I've heard people in Panama are a little bit annoyed that they're becoming so famous for these papers. By the way, it was lovely meeting Caroline Van Oosten de Boer at the YouTube Hanami, along with a lot of the rest of you there. John Reeves, also nice to see you there, as well as Mr. Kanji Kid from Miami. Wow, you got up early, so thank you for that. Yeah, it was great to see you. The new track. I mean, honestly, I like to play. I like to play around and make music. But Tai Nakamura and Fabian Majors and Nombiri, but particularly Fogheart and Tai Nakamura are just a level above, and you can hear it on Tai's latest track, Shogunai Tai. It is just sweet. It is really good. So go and check that stuff out. And download it and use it. Jeez, that's what it's for. So the topics, let's get into the topics. And I don't have a lot set up, I don't think. Well, I always say that, and I always end up filling up all the time. September trip, so Caroline. Okay, we talked about this on 2.5 Oyajis last night. I have started to make some plans around September 10. It may be September 3 instead. Hey, Kantensai, good to see you, and again, good to see you at the Poshibus. And good to see you at the YouTube Hanami as well, sir. Mr. Cordychip, do not be harming the butter sticks. Don't do that. So let's go and see what we've got, and we'll go through. I've been playing with some filters, as you can see. This Dreamscape app is awesome. It's really, really good. In fact, it's okay. It's okay. I should turn off the notifications during the show, shouldn't I? Jesus, I'm probably going to get, at some point, you're going to get to probably meet my missus saying that I'm being noisy, talking in the room. One thing I'll show you is this. This is the Dreamscape app. Well, at least they're all aware. Yes. I love the filters on this. In fact, you can see there's the lad there. I love that. Because one, you can't really tell his face that well, and the get up with the school uniform, and he just happened, it was like raining, so he's wearing like a raincoat and some like Adidas looking shoes. Check this out. I'll zoom this in. I don't usually do this. He's looking really Run DMC. I love it. All he needs is some gold chains. I was like totally digging that. I took a photo just because I thought he looked like Run DMC that particular day. I love this app. I love all the crazy things that you can do with it. It's called the Dreamscape app. It's a web app, or you can use it on iPhone or Android as well, I believe. But yes. Oh yes, and the other thing I do have to mention, by the way, is the Rogue One trailer, which I didn't actually include in the magazine for tonight. Okay, let's start with that. What do people think of the Rogue One trailer? I think, okay, let's be honest. It looks like a genuine Star Wars movie, but it looks a bit closer to an Ewoks movie in terms of effects, perhaps, than the original movies. That said, I mean, Abrams is producing. I saw some lens flares. It does look good. I'm certainly hoping it's not going to be a Starship Troopers 2. I can see that. For me, I mean, geez, I watched all the Ewoks movies, and I quasi enjoyed them, so I'm going to be fine with Rogue One, whatever it is. The idea of the story, the shots, the new stormtrooper with the long face and all that sort of stuff, I'm good. For me, the Rogue One trailer was like this, but you know, I've seen some people who have expressed some skepticism. Yes, and this is also very good to see Bradley Ford, who Rochelle mentioned she enjoyed talking to you at the Hanami as well. That's a good question, Elite Run. I never got into the expanded universe. I didn't. I know that they were there. I just wasn't much of a reader. I guess that was the problem. I grew up watching the movies just over and over and over and over, and I collected all the... yes, the app is indeed free. I collected the Star Wars figures, and I got a whole bunch of them. They were cheap in Singapore when I was a kid. So you know, I'm not that hardcore, and I don't get into these debates about what's canon and what isn't. But you know, me like you. That's a good point, Raz. No Jedi's, you know, but that's good. I mean, you know, well, the thing is, that's all. Every movie is centered on the Skywalker clan, so you know, it's good to see something different around that. And you think there must be some good other action. Of course, some big Donnie Yen fans there as well. So good to see. Anyway, I got all these crazy effects from that Dreamscape app. A lot of people ask how I do it, and that's how I do it. The original photos for these were pretty good as well, actually. I posted those on Instagram tonight. In fact, you can... Well, I'll show you my Instagram while I'm doing the tour here. Got little notifications all over the place. 67 hearts. Oh, that's very nice. So you can see, this was the kind of one with that crazy effect that I just showed. This was how I would have normally posted it, just based on editing. You know, in fact, I wonder if I should show the original one. The problem is the original one, if I show you that, it's going to have personal stuff, so I won't go into that. But yeah, and here's a photo of a tree I saw today after the rugby practice. That was very cool, and had this nice effect on it, so I quite enjoyed that. Hey Tia, hey good. The awesome. If you're in Tokyo and you have some photography needs, you need to get a pro photographer for some good shots. Tia was awesome. The shots that she took at the party, just plus Tia, you were a cool person. I was impressed just hanging out with you at and after the party. Very good to see you, and good to see you in the comments there. Yeah, everyone go and check out Tia's channel. I should check your channel myself. I don't know if you promote your photography thing there, but it was pretty cool. And that's right, Forrest Whitaker. I think was in Rogue One. That's right. It's gonna be awesome. It is, and you know what? I've watched the prequels so many times now with the lad. I actually quite even enjoy the prequels. So believe me, I can't be disappointed. And I knew that you would say that right away, Mr. Cordychap. Believe me, nobody wants to see my nudes. Not even me. I mean, I look at the mirror and I wince. It's like, oh, no. nothing like that, but no hiko sausage anywhere, but just family stuff. It's a rule. I'm not allowed to show that was okay because it was so distorted, I think, but these are my YouTubing rules. So anyway, what do we got here? This is a Japanese story. It's from the Asahi Shimbun Digital, and that says that the taxi Hatsunori Tokyo 400 yen dai mo well, anyway, it's saying that they're going to drop the minimum rate on the cabs from 700 and I think 30 yen it is now down to 400 yen, but it'll be for shorter distances like 1 kilometer, which is good. Again, if you are if you arrive at a station and you're looking for a tourist spot, that's normally you don't have to walk more than a kilometer from any station to go to anything in Tokyo. Toptier.com, there you go, you can see it there. And does not do nudes. So again, if you're looking for that, just don't look here or there. Just nothing to see, people. If I can see for tourists, if they want to figure out how to go from Kudansha Station to Yasukuni Jinja, it's like it's about an 8-minute walk, but just 400 yen and you can get there without any risk of getting lost by taxi. It makes a lot of sense. It's a tourism move, and that's what I think that's for, and that is pretty cool. Hey Raz, dude, seriously, put aside all the okay, Phantom Menace I'm not so hot on. 2 and 3, Revenge of the Sith in particular, I've seen now. It's a 2.5-hour movie, and I've seen it now like 10 times. And it's deep, man. It's deep, and it's legit. And there's actually stuff. There's some subtle stuff in The Force Awakens that ties to Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, seriously, Rainmaker 89, Kevin Japan knows exactly what he's talking about. Listen to that person, because there's some deep stuff going on there. It's I've learned to be comfortable with the prequels. So taxis are getting cheaper in Tokyo. At least they're going to be the minimum fare is going to be cheaper for short rides, which I think is good. Since we're on the same, I know this is a Tokyo show, but I've come to accept with the baby boom generation now hitting a certain age, we are going to have obituaries like every week. And this year, all these people saying, we lost Leslie Nielsen again. He died like 5 years ago. People just periodically like to say that he died again because he's famous enough that you feel bad hearing that he's dead, but not famous enough that you remember that he was dead 5 years ago when the story comes up and you think it's new every time. I'm guessing that won't be the case with Admiral Ackbar, but the voice of Admiral Ackbar from the original Star Wars movies, who also featured for Admiral Ackbar in The Force Awakens, passed away at 93 years old. He did pretty well. I don't know. Admiral Ackbar was just one of the fixed cool aspects of the Star Wars movies. There was a what's it called? The Robot Chicken. Those animated Star Wars themed shorts. I've lost like 2 days of my life just watching them, and the two best ones. You can see them on YouTube if you look for Best of Boba Fett and Best of Admiral Ackbar. The Admiral Ackbar shorts, like expanding on his life or expanding on Boba Fett, like passing the time in the gut of that monster in Return of the Jedi. Are awesome. Anyway, so farewell Admiral Ackbar. Now I guess trapped forever perhaps, but anyway, it's a good one. This is a good article. I was reading this during the week. I don't think much of it. It's a terrible title, and between everything else, it's from the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan, and it says Twitter for the birds. First thing that it's good is that it's by Richard Smart. Richard Smart is on Twitter. He's a good guy to follow, Tokyo Rich. And when I started reading it, I was just kind of like, well, so what's he talking about? He's actually talking about how some of the people I like to follow best on Twitter, who happen to be journalists, who, it features them, including New Zealander Anna Fifield, who is based in Tokyo, but she also covers Korea very thoroughly. There we go, there's Fifield. And is it Tim Horniak? The people that he features are people anyway that I have on my short list of Twitter accounts that I make sure I get. David McNeil, the writer with the Irish Times and The Economist, big fan of the Japan coverage since David McNeil took over. So good job, David McNeil. because I used to bitch and complain a lot. I'm a huge fan of The Economist magazine, and I always felt that the Japan reporting wasn't up to scratch until he came. And he's even good for a little short comment or two on Twitter as well. So, and that's what I like about this, and that's what I like about all of these people. That they're real people. You can see their interests and you can understand them a little bit better. But anyway, I guess I shouldn't show the entire thing. These people, it talks about these people who are journalists who cover Japan and Japan news and topics, and they are I'm sorry, I got distracted by the comments again. Say his famous line, "It's a trap." And there's the standalone Boba Fett movie. Oh yes, that's right, that's coming up as well. Well, the thing is, the Boba Fett, there was a Boba Fett short film, remember, from the original Christmas special. I am a Star Wars geek to the extent I haven't read the the expanded universe books or anything like that, but I've watched the Christmas special like 10 times. Happy life to everyone. And yes, the story of going back to Chewbacca's family and the Boba Fett short animated thing, that's what made Boba Fett so cool. So anyway, yes, Tai Nakamura, I'm going to get to that. Anyway, so point is, read this. It's one, it's well written. Two, the people who he features are people who I follow and love to follow, and you should follow too. And yeah, this is a really good read, so go read it. Just talking at the very beginning about the Facebook Live thing. I figured this out. I was waiting for this to show up on Twitter, and it was on Facebook, and it wouldn't. And I figured out what the problem was. The problem was that I was looking for it in my regular Facebook account. It doesn't seem to work, at least for me, on the regular Facebook account. It's not an option anywhere. But, I've got a Tokyo Digital Crew page, and I've got pardon me. I also have just a Hikosaemon page for people who don't want to actually friend me on Facebook, but they want to follow my stuff. And it's through the Hikosaemon page I was able to get these live, basically a live hangout just like this, broadcast through Facebook, and it worked well. The quality was awesome. The comments were really easy to follow. It was cool. I was super impressed by it. And again, Periscope is doing it, for Twitter. Facebook's doing it directly inside Facebook, and YouTube is way behind on this, and I've been complaining about it for years. I know why YouTube is scared. They're scared about policing, allowing anybody with a mobile phone to video anything that you can video with a mobile phone live on YouTube, and all the liability and stuff which can happen with that. But fact is, Ustream does it, Periscope does it, Facebook does it, everyone else is doing it, and the risks are the same, I guess, on everything, but they've got to figure them out, because it's too convenient. I'm not gonna do anything weird, seriously. I could, anyone could at any time, on this or anything else, but the point is, we're normal and we want to be able to use our mobile phones. So anyway, nice to read about that. Nice to see how Facebook is really putting, and you know why they're putting all this effort into it? Because YouTube has left the space open for them to come in and take it away from YouTube. And I think it's a huge strategic miss of YouTube that they've just been so slow with it. Someone was asking about Rochelle Cobb. This is me Friday night with Rochelle Cobb. This time I took in my own memory cards, so there was no risk of loss of data. We got 2 cameras set up really, really well. We used 2 mics so we wouldn't lose the sound. 2 camera angles. I realize now that I'm watching that I didn't actually have the cameras properly leveled. They were a little bit of an angle that looks a bit comic book style. But apart from that, it was like awesome. It was super awesome. Oh, and that reminds me, I can actually even show you the topics. Except that means I would have to go into my camera roll. You know what? It's probably okay. But I'm just going to disconnect when I go into my camera roll for just a second. Just because, again, rules are rules. Although I don't think there's actually going to be anything that's going to cause an issue. But let me just get in here and well, there we go. So it wasn't a problem. There was a good photo of the lad there. But reconnecting there. So these are the topics that we put them up on a big whiteboard, and oh, now wait a minute. So that's there, and I want to put that there. Okay, that kind of works. So these are the topics that we'll be doing for the new season. We got through 10 episodes. So reasons to work in a Japanese company, that's mine. Office relationships, which was asked for by Adam Millichip, Sebastian Shimomichi, and Mark Rosa. So we're going to do a great talk on office relationships in Japanese companies. The positive points about Japanese work culture, request by our Book of Host, John Clemens. That'll be in there. Ahmed Bolta was asking about how to deal with senpais and kohais. And that's another really, really good topic, and that is definitely in there. S. King was asking about why are there so many people at all these meetings in Japan, and we talk a lot about Japanese meeting culture. That's another really, really cool one. A great one that Rochelle's a direct expert on is predictions for the future of Japanese employment. It's a really broad topic, but we talked about that. How to overcome the not built here syndrome, the demand for extreme customization. This is from Brad Ford, and this was another really, really good subject that we actually had a lot to talk about, so that was really cool. And how do Japanese cope working in Western businesses? This was by something read in, what is that name? I can't read it, but anyway, I remembered it on the thing. The final ones that we had on this is a whiteboard that we just had in the studio, so we were pretty prepared for it. Being persuasive, how to be persuasive with Japanese. We talked about persuasion techniques and sales techniques with Japanese. That's another one that's not, I can't see. Well, anyway, there's a Sleepy 314 asked for the last one, which is work-life balance, and we wanted to add to that compartmentalization to that subject. We couldn't get 11 and 12 in. We did do a brief wrap up, basically asking for subjects for the next season, because Rochelle is going to be coming back to Japan, and when she does, we're going to meet up and record again. This is like a party. We do this all the time, and this is where I really want to say to everybody, if you want to go to Rochelle's seminar, I've got the information for it actually in here. In fact, let me skip to that, because it's in here somewhere. Where is it? Working effectively with Japanese, a seminar with Rochelle Kopp. This is a corporate seminar. It's an all-day seminar that happens on Tuesday this week in Tokyo. If you are in Tokyo and you can afford it, or you can persuade your company to let you do it, you have until 9:30 a.m. It says sales ended, but I know that the deadline for this is tomorrow morning, that you can register for this. And I think it was $300 and something, but you will get a 30% discount if you type in the promotion code HIKO30. 30% off for HIKO30. And yeah, I know a couple of people went to this last time. I really want to go to this one on Tuesday as well, but yeah, Tuesday's just going to be an insane day for me, and I couldn't take the whole day off. I could do it if it was like, a week later, but so Bradley Ford joined the last one. I heard a few people joined the last one. Some people actually told the story. Someone told the story that I mentioned on here about the HR seminar of unconscious bias, which I thought was hilarious. But anyway, it is. This is what she does. She's a great teacher, and this is very much worth signing up for. I guess people who have done it can vouch for it. She's going to be back and doing them probably every few months, actually. So go get into it. And remember, HIKO30 is the promotion code. And if you've already signed up, you can probably still manage to use that. It's a 30% discount. You get it. It's for friends of the show. It was awesome recording with Rochelle. She took this photo of me. I was in I thought I'd just go into an awkward pose, and it came out okay. So we were using those cameras, and it came out more or less without any technical hitches so far, although I have to edit them together. That reminds me, I've just had the craziest week you wouldn't believe. I haven't edited the dance clip yet. I have started to beat match it. It's almost done. It'll probably only take me half an hour to do it. It's just by the time this finishes, I'm going to get up early for work tomorrow morning. And yeah, it's so it's going to be sometime this week. But what I would like to do, and this is particularly aimed at Tai Nakamura and Foghard and Nonbirishito and those people, but anyone who makes music, it is going to be all set for 110 BPM. I'm just going to have the whole thing as like one long clip, but the idea is that you'd be able to make something that's 110 BPM, take that video clip, which I will upload. And everybody just use offliberty.com. You know how to rip videos. If you don't know it, just go to offliberty, offliberty.com. It's a violation of the terms of use of YouTube, so don't do it. Don't copy and paste the URL, and do not paste that URL into the address line that's given on offliberty.com. And if you do that, definitely do not hit enter or search, and do not wait. Shut the browser immediately. Do not wait for it to process downloadable MP4 and MP3 versions of the YouTube video, and definitely do not right click and save on the video that becomes available from Off Liberty once that's been processed, which takes a couple of minutes, but you wouldn't know that because you're not going to wait for it. You're going to shut down the browser right away, and certainly under no circumstances download and save that video and edit it. But if you do, you'll have my permission anyway to reuse the video and to edit it and to make it cool. So that will be coming soon, but not yet. Also, last week I did talk about, planning a bit of a lunch, and there were a few visitors I wanted to catch up with, and I thought I'd invite them and make a bigger sort of a group for it. But again, I just got such a I just had such a week. I ended up just hanging out with Stu from Where's Stu and Bomb Arrow, and actually had a really good lunch with them. It was a good chat, and it was a chat about some stuff I needed to actually talk with them about, YouTube related and coming up cool stuff sort of related. Yeah, that was a great lunch, fellas. And sorry, it turned out to only be 3. I took them to my favorite ramen place in Tokyo. I would like to do something bigger than that at some point. Even, I mean, you know what? Would it be? By the way, Okamedo, I was totally doing. There's a movie 1942, Steven Spielberg's first and only ever comedy, which I think is actually good. It's considered a bomb, and it's why Steven Spielberg never made comedies ever again. And I love that movie. And there's this thing about when they put a cannon in front of the house on the coast, for shooting submarines and Japanese ships, and how the father remembers all the instructions for how to use the cannon by all the things that he was told in sequence not to do by the the military outfit that left it there. It's a great movie. Anyway, that's where that came from. So anyway, I still would like to. If I were to do like just a mini meetup, it would probably more likely be a lunch than a dinner. But if I was to do like a mini meetup, just for people, I do this when I go overseas. But would there be anyone in Tokyo who? It sounds like I've had some messages. People would be up for doing a mini lunch meetup in Tokyo. I do a one-on-one. If you message me and say, hey, meet up for lunch, if I can do it, I'll just say, hey, yeah, I can do it this day. Just go have lunch, yeah, sure. And some weeks I can't, some weeks I can. But if I plan it, I might actually do an actual mini meetup, even if it's just people who are in Tokyo. It's actually cool to hang out with people. And the thing about the Hanami and these other events like the karaoke stuff like that as well is that I'm kind of an organizer and responsible person mode, and I'm kind of uptight, and there's too many people and I can't talk to everyone. So it'd be kind of cool to do just like a chill hangout. Well, that's what I said I'd do last week, and I didn't do it, I know. But I might actually plan something like in an organized sort of a way. Hey, Rikana the Fairy, good to see you. Yeah. And I don't think I'm known exactly by that term, Mr. Cordy Chap, but 2018, with the power of stem cells and Shiseido, it's coming back, I guess. And good to see Kenji Hosokawa. I don't know if you caught before, we got one of your topics, the one on meeting, in the session that we actually recorded for the Joy of Japanese Business with Rochelle Kopp, with the new season. There is one thing from this. I'm going to reach out to Pug-chan, actually. She's been a bit hard to reach lately. I'm not sure if I'll get her, but we did do green screen, and I kind of want to do a Hanami themed backdrop for the green screen. So I don't know, I might even throw that out there or try to do something around that. But the new season of Japan Business Time is going to be awesome, if or when I can get the time to edit it, but hopefully I will be able to do that. And yeah, that's it. There's always, you want to talk to everyone, and you get to talk to sort of no one properly. And as I said last week, I was even, I went home and I just thought later, man, I was just a dick to that guy. It's just like, you want it to be a good event, you're like nervous about that. So anyway, maybe an informal get together or something that will happen. Actually, it'd be good to see you, Kenji. Well, Kenji's actually a mate anyway, but why not? Well, one, it'd be good to catch up with you anyway, but to have you around with a bunch of YouTubers, maybe do a lunch at the Tokyo Sports Cafe. I don't know, something like that. That might be fun anyway. They love me there, and I'm not going to be doing the September party there this year, I don't think. So it might be nice to throw them throw them a bone. Anyway, moving on. YouTube. Oh yes, this is another big one. The YouTube NextUp competition. The deadline for it is also. This is also tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or Tuesday? But anyway, you get a bunch of YouTube backing, money, training for becoming like a top flight living off YouTube YouTuber through this program. It is still the premier program, and all of the people who have been through NextUp, there are some people, it's a bit like American Idol. NextUp, it's American Idol for YouTubers. You know, you audition for it, you get selected, and they give you all of this mentoring and training and support. It's true that just like American Idol, there are some people who did very well. They got picked up by NextUp, and they kind of went back to making crappy videos or just spending all the money on student debt and stuff like that, and not really going anywhere with it. But I would say on the whole, a lot of the people who've gone through NextUp, well, one, even when they claim they're not being that well supported by YouTube, some of my favorite channels are people who have been through NextUp, and you can tell the video quality, you know, they got some benefit from it. But the top channels on YouTube, and we're talking the Asahis, we're talking the Megwins, and you know, the Hikakins and those guys. I think Hikakin as well. They're all graduates of this program, and YouTube like completely backs them, you know, and provided you put the effort in and you're good with the way that you deal with YouTube around that. This is the key. If you want to have a like sustained living off YouTube, which a lot of people do nowadays, and they go about planning it in a very smart way, this is the smartest thing you can do around that. So go and look up the NextUp stuff for Japan if you're in Japan or wherever you are. They've just announced it in the US, and huge news. Kat McDowell, one of my favorite people, Kiwi singer-songwriter, Japanese Kiwi, living in the US. She got accepted for the US version of the NextUp program, which is just awesome because she's a natural for it. She's a professional entertainer. She's a long-time video maker. She thinks deeply about YouTube. It was such good news that she got accepted for the YouTube program. I assume she's one of those 51 channels there. And with all the applications, it's just like amazing. I have information that for Japan, the applications are a little bit low this year, which means that you've got a better chance. So seriously, go and have a look at it and apply for it. If you're really serious about getting, doing something with your YouTube channels. This is pretty cool. There was now a Spoon Tamago blog, by the way, great design blog, love it. The four shortlists, they kind of emulated the New Zealand flag referendum model for this. They've had a committee take thousands of applications, and they've just 14,000 you can see down there, and they've picked what they consider to be the final four, which they can actually have, I think, a public referendum or vote or something on. And these are the four designs. People actually point out they say that they're four, but there are actually 8. What they have is they're in pairs. There's one on the left, which is for the Olympics, and for the Paralympics on the right. They have to submit designs for both for each one. So you have the harmonized checker emblem, which apparently has lots of traditional Edo-oriented shapes with checkered colors. You have the wa, the circle, very Japanese thing, the wa. They are calling it Donald Trump's hair. I like this one the best, so I'm not going to call it Donald Trump's hair. Some people have pointed out it looks like the Firefox logo, which, now that you've said that, I can see it too, and they might get sued for doing it, but I like that one the best. There is surpassing one's personal best. Some people, I've seen some people on the internet who like that, but doesn't really do anything for me. And the flowering of emotions, again, for all of the awesome floral design, logos that went up, I never noticed this one. Again, not bad. I'd take it over. So what are your rankings? In fact, right now, spot test in the comments. Put your ranking, A, B, C, D, of which ones you like best. For me, I would say B, D, A, C. B, D, A, C. That's just me. But what do you guys reckon? You can see the designs at the top anyway. I guess it's you can see it goes down on the left hand side, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, so they're going to do a vote on that. I don't know if I'm allowed to vote in it or not. I think I might just vote anyway. That's what I did with the New Zealand flag referendum. I'm not sure I was actually eligible to vote, but I just submitted a paper. They can sue me. This is an interesting one. I have to admit, it intuitively just bugged me. Hapa's soon to be the majority in the Japanese American community. I don't like the word hapa. I know if you're from Hawaii, and I know some of the people in the comments here, Raz, behave. I see some people. Yes, got it. Yes, YMCA. I know there are some people from Hawaii in the comments here, and hapa is like a totally normal word. There's just not a normal word around where I am. It reminds me of the word half-caste, which is what Maori would use in New Zealand if they're like, because most Maori, frankly, have white blood. A lot of white people have. There's a high degree of mixing in New Zealand. I stood out. And I was kind of jealous. I wanted some Maori blood. I wanted to be a bit tougher. Some of the schools I was in a minority, not having any. Sorry, Barringer. Ty, are you Hawaiian? Seriously, you're Hawaiian and you're living in Flint, Michigan. What? Hawaii sounds better to me, just for what it's worth. So, I don't know, the thing is, for me, from being in Japan, I kind of get the half thing, I understand that, but even that, to call that a community when half by nature, when you've got Thai halves, Chinese half, Korean halves, who are completely different to Western halves, and you have this idea of these hapas, which again, I know that there's kind of an idea of what they are, but at the same time, they're all American. You're all Americans. I understand that. I don't really understand what a community of hapas in America would be for. And actually, Hawaii and Tai Nakamura just clicked. You're hapa. You're Hawaiian and hapa. So I don't know. So I don't want to sound offensive with this. Is there a community of hapa? I mean, I guess there is. I guess you go on the internet, you can find community, any sort of community. You can probably find, Jewish Alaskans and, people who are, I'm sure there's like a big Blasian community or something like that. I don't know. But to me, it's like these are Americans who are creating a separate identity just based on their ethnicity, which is kind of messed up. Oh, West you comes in and... Everyone, I'm sorry. This is a serious vote for the Olympic logo. But there we go. Your dad's from Oahu. Okay, well that's cool. Again, how did you? Your dad is a real soldier. If he ended up in Flint, if he came from Oahu, I guess there's probably better work and stuff. But so there you go. I knew you were cool, Tai Nakamura. It's because we're both Polynesians. But anyway, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm interested in what people think about this. Hapas are like a legitimate community. Is there a community of hapas outside of Hawaii? And the fact that they're going to be the majority in the Japanese American community, I guess it's an interesting thought anyway. Yeah, okay, I guess so. I mean, it is something that you can use to relate to other people. It is kind of weird how you've had these Nikkei people who have been insistent on marrying other Japanese, as many other ethnic communities who moved to America and New Zealand do. Chinese marrying Chinese, Jewish marrying Jewish, Italians marrying Italians, and not mixing. So it is kind of a positive sign, I guess, of integration and melting pottedness that people are, that now mixed race people are becoming the majority within those communities. But I don't know. See, for me, people are people. I find that a funny designation, but it is interesting that it's taken so long, given how long the Nikkei community's been in America, that it's taken this long for. It sounds hapa. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Wildfire 777. We are not talking Coromandel, bro. We are talking hapa, which is some Hawaiian word for half, apparently. But Benjamin Harris is from Stoke. Is it weird to be Caucasian in Stoke? I don't know. I wonder if there are going to be like Caucasian communities at some point. But again, for any reference on that, for people who feel victimized and not missing out, I think refer to the C.K. Lewis bit on being white. I think that's it. It's just awesome to be white. We don't need a community. And by the way, I'm kind of mixed, but no, I wouldn't even. Yes, indeed. How is surfing in Flint? Well, I've actually seen on Step Into Liquid, they featured surfing on Lake Michigan. I don't think Flint is on Lake Michigan. I'm sure you have to go through some pretty heavily polluted canals to get to Lake Michigan from Flint, but they have surfing on Lake Michigan, and they even said that they get tubes big enough to drive Volkswagens through. But there again, that sounds a bit fishing story to me. So this was interesting. A whole bunch. They have these North Korean restaurants all over China, Southeast Asia, with North Koreans who go there and they sing and they serve music and they pour you drinks and they talk to you. And they're lovely. And I went to one of these places in Dalian, China, and it was really good. It was really good. Apparently, it's not as good as I thought it was, because 13 of them defected en masse from one of the restaurants the other day. They were having the profit goals that were being imposed on them were too high. And I was told, actually, by the one that I went to in Dalian as well, they mentioned that they're supposed to be there for like 2 years posting, but they kept like not being able to go back. It was extended by 3 years, and the Chinese guys were speculating maybe things is really messed up in North Korea, that they're actually stopping all the people who are sent abroad from coming back. But yeah, so obviously it's a small window onto an incredibly messed up country. You don't have to know very much about North Korea to be able to accurately guess that they've got a lot of, pardon my French, but there's a lot of fucked up shit with North Korea. But that said, what you must never forget, and what I really appreciated from the experience of eating at one of these North Korean restaurants, was people are people, and these were normal people. These are people in, frankly, a country that runs between a cross between a mob syndicate and a religious cult, but the people in it are normal people with normal sort of interests and aspirations and conversations, and there's nothing much that we can do about it. There are a lot of normal, everyday North Korean people in Japan who live normal lives in Japan, but the ones in North Korea can't live that way. And I guess this is a reminder of that. These restaurants, so if you get the chance, I don't like the idea of supporting that regime, but at the same time, it's wonderful to actually be able to talk, with someone from North Korea at length. I did it through Chinese people. The food was excellent. The music and entertainment was excellent. I mean, these are elite people that get sent out to these restaurants abroad. In fact, from what I understand, it's part of the take-up system for the Yorokobi Gumi. It's the most beautiful and talented women who do this. So it was cool, and the story made me remember that. But at the same time, I really do hope that that country can normalize in some way soon. This was just super cool. The SpaceX rocket actually landing on a floating barge. When I was a kid, I was obsessed. I was a super astronomy geek, maybe it was from Star Wars, maybe it was from when I was 6 or 7. But I can remember I used to love simulating with a pencil the rocket launches, and I never could figure out. It wasn't probably till I was about 9 or 10 that I figured out that the only part of the rocket that comes back to Earth is the top little capsule, and the rest is all dropped and thrown away. When you're a kid and you see a rocket take off, you do wonder, how does it land? And I remember when I was a kid playing with a pencil, because this was before the Atari 2600 was brand new. We didn't have a lot of entertainment in rural New Zealand in the early 1980s. So I'd play with pencils and imagine it was like Star Wars. And I would always simulate, actually, myself as a kid, like how I figured the rockets must land the same way that they take off, and I always thought that must be really hard to balance. And it was just a silly 6-year-old, 7-year-old childish mistake and misunderstanding. But here we are, SpaceX and the Amazon, Blue Origin, is doing the same thing as well. They're doing these vertical landings and they're reusing the rockets. It's super cool. And they're doing it on an ocean with waves. Apparently, it wasn't a big thing about landing. It was just the landing supports that were the problem that they just had to change. Man, we were in a really, really cool time. The stuff around the commercial space stuff at the moment is so cool, and it does give me optimism that, yeah, even I might still have a shot at doing some sort of space tourism if I save enough money. But I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be achievable while I am still physically able to do it, without it costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. It might cost tens of thousands of dollars, but it might be a way to waste my son's inheritance anyway, or a big chunk of it. And I still would love to do that. They've actually just sent up the SpaceX flight. When it landed, they sent up an inflatable space hotel to attach the International Space Station. Super awesome. So, space stuff is seriously cool lately, and I just want them to keep doing all this stuff. And that's right, I want to land my rockets. I don't know if you're insinuating something there, Mr. Cordy, which you usually are. But yes, it's super cool. Big news story this week was on a Japan gold medal prospect, badminton player, and his teammates are going to lose. They qualified for the Olympics, but they are going to be stopped because all Olympic athletes have to sign off on a clause with the Olympic Committee that they will not engage in behavior that will bring the Japan Olympic team or the nation into disrepute. Yes, these guys were caught in an illegal gambling sting. There are no legal casinos in Japan, but there are some illegal ones that play baccarat and so on. And it turns out the fatty-looking kind of ugly dude on the left actually was a complete illegal casino gambling addict. He had over $100,000 in debts, and he persuaded the other guy to come along and lose $5,000 with him. And they got caught when the police went and raided this casino, and they take this stuff sort of seriously. They were hauled out in public, and they lost their tickets to the Olympics. So buck Hikosaemon damn straight, James O'Hara. So yes, it's going to be they're not going to go to the Olympics, and it is kind of puritanical, but that is what that is about, and it's been a big story this week. And they've been saying, give the guy a chance, because the number 7 guy, the better looking one, is actually considered a serious gold medal prospect. Apparently did super well in the global championships, and it'll be the first time Japan's ever had a shot at getting a gold medal in the sport. It's dominated by Southeast Asian and China and Southeast Asian countries. So it's been a big story this week, but there we go, big gambling scandal. Now it's funny, this was highlighted, and I think it was highlighted by a lot of people saying, all those Japanese people getting alcohol intoxication during the Hanami when they're accusing foreigners of behaving badly at Hanami. There's been complaints about Chinese people and so on, not following manners and so on. But think about it for a minute. This is Tokyo, right? Greater Tokyo, 30 million people, and every single one of them go out to these parks with hard liquor, and they get shit-faced during the day with their friends, and they start at midday and they stay there until night. And there are parks, Yoyogi Park at peak Hanami time has hundreds of thousands of people in it. You could not even do a miniature version of that. I mean, you would have 104 people taken for alcohol and poisoning, basically passed out, people who need to go and get taken to sleep it off in a hospital. You would have that many people in a single park in New Zealand, and you wouldn't fit more than 10,000 people into a single park. You've got multiple parks with hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, you would need the freaking National Guard. You would need riot police. Wouldn't be enough to control what you would have having that many extremely drunk people. In any other country that I know of, in Japan, in Tokyo, 30 million people go out and get completely shit-faced in parks, and only 104 people had to be taken to sleep it off. I find that an astounding statistic, low statistic actually, especially given how so many Japanese really can't hold their liquor either. They're just genetically, they don't have the enzymes to digest alcohol. So Tai Nakamura, I would love to go on zero gravity flights on planes as well, and that's something. I mean, that would be cool. You only get 30 seconds. They have to go on those sort of roller coaster rides, and I'm worried I'd get super airsick, but I would do that. I kind of wonder, given that must be so much more, you just get an old cargo plane for it. I wonder why that's not more available now, actually. So what else we got? Baby Metal, featured on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert this week. They did really well in the UK. Their album are released at number 15 on the charts in the UK. And the story in The Guardian this week, that they've been credited with kind of reviving metal music, which has kind of been dead, but this is giving it popularity of people who wouldn't listen to it otherwise. And watching them on on Colbert as well. I talked about this a little bit last night. What I love about this is that it's not. They sound cool. It's fun, and you're watching it. It's listenable. It's actually it's accessible. It is, musically, it's solid in terms of what it's being. It's completely incongruous that you have these girls, But you can never do this in other countries because the poser factor would never allow anyone to get onto a serious stage with three girls doing choreographed dancing and singing melodically with, you know, serious like metal in the background. You could never marry those art forms because people are just such big posers and so self-conscious. And that's the thing. We often think that we're creative in Japan are the drones. But the thing is, I think Japanese are completely uninhibited about doing things that for a lot of Western audiences would be considered too cheesy or they'd be too self-conscious about doing, which means that they're actually less inhibited. And with those restrictions taken off, I think it lets people be actually more creative and create stuff where it turns out is actually cool. But you could not have created baby metal in UK or America. You might see it now that it's been confirmed that this is actually okay to like. You might see people imitate it now or try to do things like it, but it could never have been innovated in those countries just because of the poser culture in those countries. So the same in New Zealand, you could never do it. And that's what I like about it. I like the fact that they're actually good. There's actually very talented people in that band. Musically, it's actually good, and it's completely left field, and that's cool. That's really awesome. And it's just, it is fascinating to watch myself just to see, and that's it, I'm not a particular fan of the band, but it is really cool to see how well they're doing. And it was, you know, I got a real kick out of watching them on The Late Show. I mean, that was awesome. Japan is printing 1.23 billion $100 notes, the 10,000 yen note, which is the $100 bill equivalent, and it's because people are basically hoarding cash at home. They're afraid of the My Number system. I talked about this last night on 2.5 Oyajis briefly. People are just stuffing their mattresses at the moment. Plus, the government obviously isn't afraid of hyperinflation anymore. They're just printing money like crazy because Japan still has deflation in spite of all the extra printing money and stuff like that. And that Tai Nakamura, well, that's what I'm talking about, the Kami band, they're actually, musically, they're solid, right? I mean, it's not just, I'm not an expert on the musical nuance of heavy metal music, but sounds legit, you know, right? And of course they have many other better bands, and of course they're getting off on the gimmick thing, but credit to them. I mean, it's a gimmick. I don't think that could have gone so far anywhere else. So yeah, they're printing more cash, which is funny with the My Number thing coming in as well. This is what I was talking about before, how they're leading a Japanese metal revival in the UK. And I've heard about the backlash against them and people refusing, like saying that they wouldn't allow them in some of the big festivals there, but they showed up anyway. I reckon it's just cool. I mean, that is the definition of rock and roll, is going in when everyone doesn't want you there. It's the hip to be square thing. It's kind of reversed, right? The people who think they're cool, who have been trying to keep these people shut out, are the ones who are being made to look uncool by rejecting them. I love that. I just love the whole backwardsness of that and the fact that they're kicking ass. I talked about the NextUp program. The deadline is, when is the deadline? Let's have a look at it. Let's zoom in there. So, okay, it's talking about basically all the stuff that I said about why it's an awesome thing. What is the deadline? Come on. Go to here, all this stuff. Okay, I don't know what this is. This doesn't have the deadline clearly on it, but I understand. I think it's Monday morning. So if you're interested, go and apply, because it is the best way to get big on YouTube. 59% of kids nowadays, of young people, don't want to buy cars. They've got no intention of buying cars, which isn't surprising. They're actually increasing the tax on old cars to force people to buy new cars, but that's not going to improve car sales at all, because people just don't want to buy them anymore. Same with TV. People don't want to watch anymore. The school textbook for teaching English has this well-endowed, big-eyed, animated, it looks a little bit like Mirai-chan from Danny Chu, character, and this anime character is attracting fans across sites like Nichan, and the comments are funny. The first one saying, "Whoa, that is so sexual." I don't see it myself. I guess it's just how you take it. The second one is I'm not sure what they mean by 薄いの出る予感。この先生なら俺ももっと頑張れた。Comment number 10 says, if I had a teacher that looked like this, I would have tried harder. It is funny watching the net reactions. Apparently there's a super popular English textbook just simply because of the anime character. It's kind of sad if you think about it, and it is a sign that, once again, that Japan is definitely going to come to an end. But yes, recording Japan Business Time this week in Studio 2. on air with the on air sign, my name with a sama next to it on the door, because that's what it deserves. And you can see the green screen room and the red sofas and everything ready to rock. That's what we did this week, and that was cool. I love this. This was just a tweet from Anna Fifield talking about Japan problems. Japan problems. Got a sakura petal in your coffee. This got awesomely retweeted, and I retweeted it too. I just love that image. I think that's a great. You could make that a poster actually. That could be a whole tourism campaign. Just that caption and that photo. So you see, she's a journalist, Washington Post, I think. She's a Kiwi. That's obviously why she's cool. But worth following on Twitter. These people have good stuff there. The Sergeant Bilko, good evening to you, sir, and thank you for good to see you at the Hanami, and thank you for the comments and stuff. And that is pretty much it. That is the Working Effectively with Japanese is there. The story on the end of the Tokyo Marathon now coming to the Tokyo Station, I think I covered last week. So these are old stories. So that's it. Shall I make a track? I know I really haven't been making music lately. I could do it. We've got like 2 minutes left. You know what? I really want to make more stuff on iMachine again to go back with the more, the increased control. But that shit ain't happening. So let me do. I've just been busy. I'm gonna catch up. But in any case, let's do a 110 track. And Dojishi? Is that what that is? You know what? That totally went over my head, Monta Tanaka. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, let's put on the old headphones and switch to camera mode. Bada bing. And that's me. Oh, this is my setup, by the way. You can see there's my little mic there. And there is the Tokyo Digital crew represent. And there is my little control thing where I turn it on and off, and that's where I capture the comments. This is the rig. And if I point this down, and you know what? I think I want to go in here and get the display and brightness and turn off the night shift thing so we get normal colors, and I want to make it brighter, and I want to turn on Korg, and we can move that out of the way. Let's do a 110 track. What have I got in here? Let me just check I don't blast too much. Okay. Okay, that's kind of crap. I'm gonna clear that whole thing. Yeah, I'm serious. Okay, so I'm gonna create something now. Glad that you like the layout. So okay, so it is 110. We got that much. Let's go for the Fergie. I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Let's make it a D. We'll quantize that. Forget about beatbox. I don't like beatbox. Let's go into Deep House, and that's 64. So and that's kind of cool. I'm digging that. I'm just gonna let it go as is. So what do I do for a sound for that? For some sounds. Let me go up here. I want to do beeping. I want to do Variable. Nah, I don't like that. You know what? Forget about high stuff. Let's do some. Let's do another drum here. That's kind of crap. Yeah. Let's see what I can do around power chords. That's better. Hey, Stormtrooper 109, good to see you. Hope you enjoyed the show. So I'm going to rock it out with this. I'm going to save this track. This is kind of cool. This is a bit retro backwards. But yeah, this is fun. This came out kind of cool. I like this. And that's the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next week. 2.5 Oyajis on Victor's channel. And of course, Tokyo Tonight live here. Look out, there's going to be more announcements and stuff. Go check out NextUp Japan. Go and check out Rochelle's seminar. And thank you very much for joining me as you do every week. And talk to you again soon, man. Thanks for enjoying the music. Thanks for enjoying all that good stuff. And boom, catch all the news and stuff. And feel free to re-watch. And when you do, leave me comments, because I like to see the comments that get left on the video afterwards. And have a good week, everybody. Good to see you all. Okay, peace. Sure. And I'll live stream Tokyo Digital Crew. I'm gonna make a t-shirt for that pretty soon. Actually, that's one of the things I've been meaning to get around to, but just have been crazy stuff. Kenji, we got to catch up, dude, because yeah, you wouldn't believe. You probably, geez, you might believe, but seriously, even by my standards, it's been crazy lately. I'll see you all later. Have a good week. Aloha, Tai, indeed, or talofa, as I say in Samoa, or yeah, kia ora, well, in New Zealand. See you later. Boom. Just ask me, are you sure you want to stop? I know you clicked on stop, but maybe you don't want to stop. Let's just bring this out here. Well, fair enough, it's a safety. So I'll see you later. Peace.